Hi, I am Ramatu Ada Ochekliye, the founder of Shades of Us. I use storytelling to address the socioeconomic issues that affect us, first as Nigerians, then as Africans. I want to make the film, Okweche, The Cost of a Vote, because it tells a story that is painfully familiar and repetitive every election cycle. In many rural communities across Nigeria, elections are by survival. When people are hungry, abandoned, and forgotten, a bag of rice, some crisp naira notes, and other food items given just before elections can begin to look like governance. And that is the tragedy at the heart of this story. What draws me to Okweche, my lead, is that she is not a hero in the traditional sense. She is a mother, a farmer, an ordinary woman trying to survive in a system that has taught her that her suffering is normal. Through her eyes, we see how political neglect is not abstract. It lives in broken schools, impassable roads, empty clinics, and ultimately in the loss of human lives. This film is important to me because it explores the emotional cost of vote buying, not just the political consequences. We often talk about corruption as statistics or headlines, but rarely as grief. Rarely as a mother burying her child after a preventable disease outbreak. Rarely as a community forced to trade dignity for temporary relief. I also want this film to challenge audiences to ask difficult questions. What happens when democracy becomes transactional? Can we truly blame people for selling their votes when the system has already abandoned them? And what responsibility do leaders carry when promises become cycles of exploitation? Visually, I want the film to feel intimate and grounded, rooted in the textures of rural life, the beauty of the land, and the quiet resilience of the people in Nigeria. But beneath that beauty is the tension, the slow realization that survival today may be destroying the future or tomorrow. At its core, this is a story about politics, but also about memory, loss, hunger, and the price people pay when they feel they have no choice. And I believe it is a story that deserves to be seen. Ultimately, I want the story to inspire a different kind of civic consciousness, one that encourages people to see their votes not as temporary transactions, but as long-term investments in their future. The film asks audiences to think beyond the immediate relief of rice, cash, or small gifts, and to consider the lasting consequence of the choices that are made during election cycles. By witnessing Okweche's loss and the community's repeated suffering, viewers are reminded that real development cannot be exchanged for momentary comfort. My hope is that the story sparks conversations about accountability, collective responsibility, and the power communities have when they begin to demand sustainable leadership over short term survival. Because when citizens recognize the true value of their vote, elections can become opportunities for transformation rather than the current circles of exploitation that they are today in Nigeria.